Your intelligence is not a shield. It is precisely what makes you a prime target for the most insidious forms of manipulation. You are about to understand a dark psychological truth. The very cognitive strengths that define a high IQ are also the open doorways through which predators silently enter and exert control. Recognizing this mechanism isn't merely academic. It's the vital distinction between discerning reality and becoming an unwitting participant in someone else's carefully constructed narrative. Your ability to navigate the social world, to trust your own judgment, and to protect your mental autonomy hinges on grasping this unsettling reality. The core of this intelligence trap lies in a cruel irony. Highly analytical minds are wired to seek patterns, to connect disparate pieces of information, and to demand explanations that are logically sound and structurally robust. This powerful drive, while essential for problem solving, is ruthlessly exploited by skilled manipulators. They understand that a simple, direct lie might be easily dismissed by a sharp intellect. Instead, they craft elaborate, intricate narratives, weaving together half-truths, selective facts, and compelling justifications that appeal directly to the intelligent individual's desire for complexity and understanding. They don't just tell a lie, they build an entire persuasive system around it. Think of it as intellectual bait. The more convoluted and theoretically satisfying the explanation, the more likely an intelligent mind is to engage with it, dissect it, and ultimately internalize it, even if the foundational premise is rotten. This phenomenon is often linked to epistemic overconfidence, a bias where individuals, especially those with demonstrably high intellectual capacities, tend to overestimate the accuracy of their own knowledge and their ability to detect falsehoods. Researchers like Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, in their extensive work on cognitive biases, have shown how even highly rational individuals are prone to System 1 thinking traps, where quick, intuitive judgments can override more deliberate System 2 analysis, particularly when those intuitions are reinforced by a complex, seemingly coherent story. One particularly striking observation comes from the study of intellectual humility, where research suggests that individuals with higher objective intelligence do not always exhibit a corresponding increase in their awareness of their own cognitive blind spots. In fact, sometimes the inverse occurs. A strong track record of intellectual success can breed an unwarranted certainty in one's own interpretive faculties, leading to a profound underestimation of how easily one's sophisticated mental machinery can be hijacked. The predator doesn't need you to be unintelligent. They need you to be confident in your intelligence, confident enough to disregard the simple, visceral feeling that something is wrong, in favor of a detailed, intellectually stimulating alternative. The true danger lies not in obvious flaws, but in the intricate architecture of the lie itself. This insidious mechanism is not confined to obscure cults or extreme political movements. It operates in the quiet hum of countless daily interactions. Have you ever dismissed a simple intuition because an explanation was too clever? Consider the relationship where one partner consistently gaslights the other. The manipulator doesn't just deny an event, they create a baroque counter-narrative. Perhaps they claim your memory is faulty because of a specific, subtly implied stressor from your past, or they meticulously reconstruct events with tiny, plausible distortions, complete with fabricated motivations for their actions that cast them as the victim or the misunderstood party. The intelligent partner, instead of trusting their gut, starts analyzing the manipulator's intricate logic, searching for flaws in that logic, and in doing so, unwittingly validates the premise of the deception. The before picture is someone trusting their internal compass. The after is someone lost in a labyrinth of invented details, their self-doubt growing with every failed attempt to logically dismantle the lie. Or think about the workplace dynamic where a manipulative leader or colleague seeks to undermine a competent peer. They don't openly attack. They construct a nuanced, seemingly objective critique that appeals to organizational priorities, long-term strategic visions, or subtle cultural norms. The intelligent target finds themselves in endless meetings, dissecting complex proposals, generating data, and engaging in intricate political maneuvers, all to refute a cleverly disguised, fundamentally baseless accusation that was never about facts in the first place, but about control. The predator here, often highly intelligent themselves, uses your very intellectual rigor as a weapon, tying you up in cognitive knots while the core issue goes unaddressed. In the media landscape, this trap manifests in the spread of elaborate conspiracy theories. These aren't simple falsehoods. They are vast, interconnected tapestries of supposed evidence, hidden agendas, and secret knowledge, designed to appeal to the critical, pattern-seeking mind. They demand extensive research, connecting dots across countless sources, feeding the intelligent individual's desire to uncover hidden truths that the less astute might miss. As psychologist Scott Lilienfeld points out in his discussions on pseudoscientific beliefs, the more an explanation requires complex reasoning and makes one feel part of an enlightened few who understand it, the more psychologically appealing it can be to certain intellects, irrespective of its empirical basis. This is not about factual error. It is about strategic misdirection, using complexity to mask emptiness. Recognizing this intelligence trap and defending against it requires conscious recalibration of your intellectual approach. First, you must cultivate what I call the simplicity test. When confronted with an explanation, an argument, or a narrative that feels overly intricate, that requires an unusual number of assumptions to hold true, or that appeals primarily to your sense of intellectual superiority for grasping its nuance, pause. Ask yourself, can this be explained in a much simpler way? Are the core facts straightforward, or are they buried under layers of sophisticated reasoning? If you find yourself having to exert significant cognitive effort to make sense of a situation that your gut tells you is off, that very complexity might be the red flag. A genuinely truthful explanation rarely needs to be excessively convoluted. Obfuscation is often a tactic. Second, actively practice intellectual humility. This means consciously seeking out disconfirming evidence, not just confirming. Intelligent individuals are often adept at building robust arguments for a position. The defense mechanism here is to actively search for the weakest points in the narrative being presented, even if it's one you initially find compelling. What don't I know? What alternative, simpler explanation have I overlooked? Who benefits from this specific, complex interpretation? Regularly challenging your own initial understanding and being open to the possibility that your intellect can be fooled are powerful defenses. Finally, develop a red flag trigger for over-elaboration. This means recognizing that a disproportionate level of detail or academic language in response to a simple question or concern is not a sign of thoroughness, but potentially a diversion. If you ask a direct question about someone's whereabouts, and you receive a minute-by-minute itinerary intertwined with philosophical musings on the nature of time and memory, your internal alarm should sound. The goal is to overwhelm your analytical mind with information, distracting you from the fundamental inconsistency or evasion. Look for answers that provide an intellectual exercise rather than a direct resolution. You now perceive a fundamental shift in the landscape of human interaction. The world is not merely divided into those who are easily deceived and those who are not. Instead, you see a sophisticated arena where intellectual capacity, once perceived as an inherent strength, can be expertly weaponized against itself. You no longer merely detect lies, you recognize the elaborate structures built to ensnare the discerning mind. Your own thought processes, once trusted implicitly, now reveal their specific vulnerabilities, transforming every complex argument into a potential test of discernment, every intricate narrative into a puzzle with hidden pitfalls. Understanding this intelligence trap is not about becoming cynical, but about sharpening your perception to an unprecedented degree. It's about fortifying the very mind that manipulators seek to exploit. The insights we uncover together are just the beginning. There is so much more beneath the surface, waiting to be revealed, waiting to empower you.